Welcome to this Pride of Dakota feature. Coffee is not just a drink anymore. It has become a personal statement about our personalities, culture, and tastes. Whether it's the type of bean you use or how dark a roast or even how you brew your next cup, chances are you are somewhat particular about how you enjoy your coffee. In this feature, we'll talk to Brian Jackson of Mighty Missouri Coffee Company about how coffee plays a role in helping each of us create our own personal brand in life. Mighty Missouri Coffee Company was founded in 2013 by Brian Jackson and has created a roast of coffee that captures the essence of the North Dakota adventurous spirit. Joining us in the studio is owner Brian Jackson. Brian, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, Brian, I love what you said when the mics were off. You kind of compared coffee to music. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, exactly. Coffee is kind of subjective to everybody, and I've kind of realized that even before starting, getting into this, where I realized that this person's favorite coffee is not necessarily that person's favorite coffee.
Right,
and that's
right.
the same with music. And so when I look at my favorite song on the radio or something, it's not necessarily the most musically intelligent song. In fact, I know it's not. The fact is, it's kind of this built on by association, and it's a part of me that way. So when I hear it on the radio, I say, hey, that's my favorite song, not because of the music, but because it reminds me of that time where I was doing that one thing with that one person.
Yep.
And so with my coffee company, that's what I'm really looking to do is to bring people together, because that's what coffee does. Whether it's in a coffee shop, at home, coffee brings people together. So I'm trying to connect those people together in North Dakota, and also connect those people with the North Dakota spirit, which is that spirit of adventure that we have here.
Well, sure, because you and I could be listening to the same music or listening to the same radio, and we're both able to listen, but we may prefer when we get into our car to put in a different CD or to pick that certain song or a certain blend. And it's the same with
exactly.
coffee.
And I want that song to stay because it reminds me of the time I was on Lake Sakakawea fishing,
Exactly. So we tie those to memories, and so coffee, is very similar. There's about 300 different places to get coffee, and we all kind of gravitate to our favorite coffee holes. And it's let's go get a cup of coffee, or personally, let's meet for coffee. It's just become this cultural standard of whether you even drink coffee or not. When you go to meet, you're going for coffee.
Right.
And then when we go to order coffee, you listen to how people will order their coffee. They're very, very particular about that.
Yeah, isn't that something? And don't get me wrong, there is a difference between good coffee and bad coffee. But the fact of the matter is there's also a flavor that that you can get if you go travel somewhere and you get a coffee there. You know where you're at, And so that's true with coffee. And so that's what I'm going to try to be doing is bringing that flavor of North Dakota to the coffee.
So, Brian, what makes the coffee roasts different from each other? We have house blends, we have light, dark roasts. What is the difference between those?
Yeah, there's books on it, on the differences and what makes coffee specific. But it could be from the source, the countries of origin, the elevation, the acidity in the soil, which brings a fruitiness to the bean, which presents itself when you roast. Roasts, the things that I'm going to be doing, the roast time. If you have a light coffee, it's going to be higher caffeine. It's going to be less charcoal kind of flavor. And then
so the lighter the roast, the more caffeine?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because
wow.
you're actually burning off the caffeine as you go. And so if you get, if you go to Starbucks and you get their light roast, their blonde, you're going to have a more caffeinated drink. Yeah, it's kind of
I did not know that, because I was actually assuming that because it was dark, it was heavier or more.
A lot of people do that, and a lot of people end up getting 2 or 3 coffees when you just needed one. But and then even blends, you go to some bigger places and people will have a different blend from different countries, and if you know what it is, that's going to make a difference to your cup too.
So as a roaster, you are really even making decisions as where in the world you want to get your beans from.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That can make a huge difference. So how do you develop and create the different roasts? You talk about a process called cupping. What is that?
Yeah, so I have a sample roaster, and so I'm going to be getting from a different farm a small amount of the beans to see if I'm going to make a big order.
Okay.
Well, I can't put that in a big roaster. It's going to just burn it. So I have a sample roaster, and then I cupping is kind of it's almost getting the essence of the coffee with the tweezer,
Oh, okay.
And so you can compare coffees, just have them in a little cup, and you take a big slurp of it, and after you got the aromas and you've captured that, is this a high note or is this a low note? And you just kind of document that. And then you can kind of say, okay, do I like it? And at the end, you can say whatever you want about the coffee, but do I like it at the end? And then you'll go on and order it, or you'll let it pass and wait for the next one. And that's kind of how I come up with the blends.
So this really is an education process, and I know that education is a part of how you even market your product and pulling people in. So if someone wants to know more information, learn more about the process, what's the best way to do that?
You can visit me online at www.mightymocoffee.com. I've got a blog going. Would love to get as many people involved as we can to the conversation. Facebook.com/MightyMoCoffee.
Yep.
And we're on Twitter at MightyMoCoffee.
And then there's going to be store locators, contact information on the website as well.
Yep.
And then people can expect to see you at the Pride of Dakota events as well.
Exactly.
Brian, thank you so much for stopping in and having a cup of coffee with us today.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
For more information on this Pride of Dakota featured member, or to find other feature podcast episodes, visit our website at prideofdakota.com or join the conversation at facebook.com/prideofdakota.